right, welcome to another episode of Ran Out of Talent. I'm your host, Joser Jr. With me is my co-host, Zach Donathan, and we got special guests with us tonight, Sean Jones. How's it going tonight, Sean?
It's going good. How y'all fellas doing?
All right, you know, doing a lot of racing and in the heat. It's started to take a toll, but I think we're finally breaking the heat wave, and we'll be all right. Sunday, it
Hopefully.
got to the point of being, yeah, Sunday, it got to the point of being painful. But I mean, it's what we choose to do. So we got a lot to cover tonight. We got a gun mishap at an RC track I was at. We got Zach going to Wicked Weekend, and then Sean, he's got some Michigan things to talk about on here. And yeah, so Zach, let's run the gamut.
Okay, so I think Sean should start this off because he can't be on here as long as we can.
Okay.
Um, so Sean, I think you should talk about well, how about you start out with kind of who you are and what you've been doing in the RC world.
Like I said, my name is Sean. In the RC world, I run a few different classes: 21, VTA, TTO2, of course, NASCAR. That's where the addiction started with the NASCAR.
Yep.
With my wife got me my first NASCAR this January, past January for my birthday, and then
Awesome.
my friend slash brother like CJ introduced me to it, and it's been an addiction ever since. It's the worst addiction, but it's an addiction.
I got my first NASCAR about 2 months ago, and I've been racing for 38 years, and I love this stupid little thing.
Well, to this past weekend, I thought it was indestructible until I got hit head on and a front bumper broke. And
Oh,
I've done everything with that car. I flipped it, crashed it, banged it. The bodies are indestructible. The car was indestructible
yeah.
until this past weekend in asphalt. It was a totally different animal for me, and I was shocked. Like, whoa, I've never seen nothing break on here.
That must
You
have been a
know,
hard hit.
it was like literally straight on. But we had a lot of fun out there. That was at Q3 RC Racing. You know, with Jason when they got a nice track out there for us.
Cool. Yeah, man. So the reason we're having you on here is because, well, Zach and I a couple times on here talked about Grand River RC, and we talk a bit about it privately. And then all of a sudden, I saw a for sale post, and then it went away. And now he's telling people on the group Facebook page, "Don't sell your RC cars just yet." We're all one because I'm from Minnesota. I'm looking at this from afar, but there's a couple places in Michigan I would like to go see. Limitless is one of them. Grand River RC looked like an awesome facility too, and it's up in the air with what's happening with that place.
Well, I like Limitless. That's one track I want to get to. One of the other tracks on the east side that I was hoping to get to was RC1, before they had their situation happen over there.
Yeah.
Those are great looking facilities. Like even just the shots alone looked nice. Um, so with Grand River though, what happened was the situation is that originally with me it started with is going into the facility looking at just me being an entrepreneur. So I own a few businesses already. And when I came in there, they announced that, hey, this is the guy that owns the track. Oh, cool. All right. And just walk, you know, how when you just walk around, when you have entrepreneur spirit, you're always looking for a way to make your money work for you or to make something better that you're doing. And I originally pitched it as an investor, like, hey, let me invest in the track. And it was shot down immediately because the owner said he didn't like investors because he's done it before and it's really messy. All right, cool. Walked away from it, left it alone.
Mhm.
Continue my day racing, having fun. And then it came about again where later on, um, one of my friends came to me and said, "Hey, the owner's asking questions about you." It's like he's asking questions about me. What's the question? He's asking, "Do you really have money?" I was like, "That's weird. Like, why?" He goes, I don't know. So we went to go race one day, and he stops me and go, "Do you want to buy the track?" Yeah, I want to buy the track. Like, what's the numbers? And we he was like, well, come talk to me afterwards. So I waited around. I talked to him, and he gave me a number that I knew when the first number he said to me literally was 100K. And I was like, not gonna happen. And
Mm.
then he was like, no, just come talk to me. We'll talk a more reasonable number. So I just talked, okay, that's he was just bullshitting with me, or BSing with me. And I was like, all right,
Yep.
cool. So we
Yeah.
go back and we come back to the table, and he goes, well, I want 55,000.
Okay.
And I'm like, 55,000. But originally I offered a blind 20. Like, I'll give you 20 and I'll take everything with it, the debt and everything. And I was told that that was an insult. I was insulting him, and I was like, well, I don't know. I don't see the numbers, and you haven't provided me with anything to make a sound decision of saying what this track is worth, what it's not worth, what's bringing in, what's the bills, what's the utilities, what's the rent. Like, I had none of that. I was just,
Yes.
you want out, and his thing of wanting out at the time that he told me was family time. So
Yep.
cool.
Yeah.
But then he said he was gonna get numbers for me. The numbers never really transpired like that. Like, they never really came to fruition. And so, due to what my accountant and my legal team, they were like, "Yo, it's not a good deal. Like, the numbers aren't there." And
Hmm.
I stressed that out to him, and then later on he came back and said, "All right, let's do 40." And I'm like, "No, that's not gonna work either." And so then, but during this whole time though, I have a thing about when I'm doing business with someone, don't talk about my business. Leave it
Yeah.
between us. Like, don't do it. Like, let's not talk about it until we get to a point of where it's comfortable and two respectable numbers that is respectable for me and respectable for you, and what the business actually shows for proof. And I had started having people calling me and texting me, like people I've never even heard of or talked to at the track. People inboxing me like, "Hey, what's the winter schedule like?" And I'm like, I don't know. You got to ask him. Like, why are you talking to me? But I don't know.
Yeah.
And then it came down to, like, my team's doing the research on this thing, and they're like, hey, like, this place is kind of like upside down. Like, I
Yep.
advise you to walk away. We got other things to do. That's we need that we make bread and butter on. Like, this is not bread and butter. This is playtime. Like, and this is a
Yes.
bad playtime. Like, just buy your cars and let your wife be upset about what you spend on cars.
Yes.
It was like, all right. And so, but I still wanted the track.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, I still wanted it. And so then it became down to, it was like, hey, people were calling me now, like, we want you to get the track. We want you to get the track. We want you to get the track. So it was like, all right, cool. Everybody's pushing for this. So it was like, all right, let's get a fresh breath of air in there. Let's do some things. Let's start looking at some things. So we started designing. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna come to a respectable number. So I immediately just start pushing, like, let's get logos together. Let's start looking at different pits. Let's get more modern. Let's look at lighting. Let's look at what we're doing, what we seen, what we don't like, and then let's talk to the community. Like,
Mm.
it ain't just us. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'm the new guy, so let's talk to everybody. And everybody was like, gave their opinion, and everybody gave great ideas. Like, the community is really, really big. It's way bigger than I thought. I didn't find out till later on how much is declined because of ownership, and how
Mhm.
people feel about the place. And it's like, and to be truthfully honest with you guys, Joe, it's not a bad place. Like, it's not a bad track.
It looks great.
It can use some you know uh how's the best way to say it? Can use
Upgrades.
upgrades.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can use upgrades, because right now it's lipstick.
Yep. Yep.
And it's
Yep.
really old. It's still wooded. When people have moved on to racks and
Yeah.
updating racks where people can store bags and coats off the floor, and it got a lot of old chairs and stuff. And it was
Yeah.
like, yo, we like, and then the communities, they're really harping on it right now. And it's like, I've never said anything. I've never posted about it. This is the first time you guys are getting the very first time me
Yeah.
speaking on it. Like,
Yeah.
I left it alone because with me, it was like, yo, the business didn't happen. I still hold the cards of saying, no, I didn't. I don't know what y'all talking about. Deal with him. But then it started coming back where it was like, oh, well, they said you sat at the table and you walked away from the deal. And I'm like, there was never a deal.
What?
There was never a deal. Like, there was never agreed upon deal ever.
Yeah.
I was handing a Word document sheet with what was offered and what was staying in it. I was never provided, you know, um, proof of any legit sales. I was showed a number in the POS system, and then I was
Yep.
showed, another number, which to me, them numbers, they didn't match.
Okay.
And then I get the whole, on how they run business and their tax prep personnel and all that. It's like, hey, that ain't got nothing
Yeah.
to do with me. I
Yeah.
ain't want no smoke, no problems with that. I was like, yeah, that number just don't make sense. But then later on, I was given back another offer yesterday in my email of, well, we're gonna pull it together and we're just gonna keep the track through the winter, and I'm gonna get what I need out of it. But if you still want, you can. We'll honor 50,000 by August 1st. I'm just not going.
Mm-mm. Here's the deal. So I've been in RC for my whole life, basically. I started when I was 6 years old. I've seen tracks come and go. I've seen a lot of tracks be sold. I've seen tracks change hands because the track was in such debt. The guy's like, I'll take it off your hands, but I'm not paying you a dime. You're just getting out of this clean. I've seen people get 1.6 for a track and everything in between. And that's the thing too. You got to look, as you have to see how underwater you are. If you're 75 grand underwater going into the thing, it's like, it's not even worth your 20.
That's true. And
I mean,
there's a lot of other factors, and that played a big factor too, of
yeah,
walking away of the community. And it's not that I didn't have faith or trust in the community, because since I've been raised, man, this has been great. Like, the people have been great. I don't care if we're out of town, or if we've, wherever we are, the community of racers been really, really great for us. We haven't had any issues or any downs, or just everybody helpful. Like, it's like the
yes,
most helpful community I ever seen. Like, they're more helpful than my community in my neighborhood where I live. And I got great neighbors where I live. Um, but that played a big role on what the numbers look like versus what actually transpired later on, when my team sending me stuff like, yo, this is new information. And I'm like, hmm, that was never exposed to me. Like, I was never told that. And I was like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. So now it's like, hey, if you do this, you got to go with a whole new LLC. Like, you're gonna
mm-hmm,
have to do a whole new business. You're gonna have to do a whole new thing, and we were prepared to do that anyways.
yep,
Just because I just don't like the people of how some people brand things, or how people portray a certain brand. And once I got to know the community and people talk the way they talked about it, that brand was gonna do me no justice to rebuild the track.
okay, yeah. Well, I haven't been there. I've only seen video of the track and whatnot. In your vision, if there was somebody willing to buy it and upgrade everything to a top-notch level, would it be a national level facility?
In my honest opinion, yes.
That's what it looks like on social media. But once again, I've
Yes.
only seen it on social media.
So I'll give you guys another insider. So when it leaked that I was the person that was going to buy it, because I
Mm-hmm.
never even wanted to know I was buying it, or even consider trying to buy it, or we were in talks of buying it. None of that. I started having people call me from all over. It's like, hey, this person reached out to me and it was like, if you guys can get that track up to par, we can get you guys some national races. And then it
Yeah,
came to the
I
question of like, well, why didn't you guys do it for him? And it was like, why you guys just didn't do it anyways? They're like, nah. So
yeah.
now it's
No,
starting to
I
really
understand.
set in with me as the new guy. Like, oh, so there's a lot of potential here. There is a lot,
There is.
and it's like
Um,
they just don't like him, and I don't know why. Like, I don't have a personal problem with him. Honestly, I don't have a problem with him.
I
what's
think it's
the
more so
hobby?
the history.
Okay. What's the hobby shop situation like there as well? Is it mainly just a track with the small little pro shop, or does he have a full hobby shop with, your Traxxas, your Arma, your airplanes and boats and all that?
Zach have sent me more stuff that's in that hobby shop.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
You see
And
how you
that's
stop
another.
rocking that chair? No, there's not a whole lot in that hobby shop. Like, and that was another thing that we saw potential in.
Mhm.
Like, so for example, NASCAR is the biggest race, the biggest class there right now. But
Sure.
if you need NASCAR tires, you're not getting them there. If you need a NASCAR
That's
arm or
terrible.
a bumper, you're not getting them there. You're gonna go to A Main, or you're gonna go to our local hobby shop in town and just have them order from A Main, and you go pick it up in 3 or 4 days. So we saw the
Yeah.
potential, like the potential was there, but the risk of the gamble, and you guys know, if you, like you said, you've been around this a long time, is to put a hobby shop together. And I've talked to a lot of guys that own hobby shops that we are cool with, because like most of the time when I buy product, I want to get to know the owner of who I'm buying product from.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know why, it's just in me, but they've all said the same thing. Like, you're gonna get like an 18% spread on it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, well, that's not bad, but I would rather keep my runners with everything in house. Like, we run a lot of X-rays and Automatics there, Mugans, and they can't get parts there. Like, you can't
Right.
get there. Like, you
So
can get you
another,
can get 12 scale rubber tires there though. He has those.
yeah. But the thing is,
Well,
so like our biggest hobby shop in Minnesota that closed a few years ago from alcohol management, gross mismanagement. But when that place was hopping under the old ownership, I had to plan 20 minutes to just buy a can of sauce from the hobby shop because it was that busy. And they weren't selling, I mean, they were selling RC stuff. They were selling like your Traxxas and Arma stuff, but their big sellers were like Warhammer 40K and crap like that. They were such a diverse hobby shop, and that's the same way that the Hobbytown Hobbyplex in Omaha is. They sell the Nitos or whatever the crap that stuff is and all that. They sell a crap ton of RC, but a lot of their business is in other stuff. And that's the thing. It's like you got to have the vision for past RC if you're going to have a hobby shop. You can't have an RC only hobby with your Traxxas, your Arma, but you also have your race shop. Your race shop will be about 20% of business in your RC. It'll be the dude looking for an arm for his slash and all that. And I used to be one of those peers, like, I want to have a track with just a pro shop. And, but then I'm sitting there and I've been approached to manage hobby shops. I've been approached to be partners in tracks. I've never done it. I don't have the balls, and it's never been the right time.
So for
But
me, for me, it was always about the. So I'm a visionary. Like, I could see the
yeah.
vision in something a lot sooner than other people can, so to speak, around me a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
So I seen the digital screens hanging. I saw the actual classes, because like when we get new racers there, one of the hardest things for me being a new racer there was I always had to ask the question of, well, what motor I run,
Yeah.
or okay, um, what ESC I have to have, or what type of tires is it, and then I would go online and look it up,
Yep.
and then other tracks will come up on YouTube, or they'll just start popping up on Facebook because you're looking for it or you're talking about it, and it was like, oh, they got a whole board, so when racers come in, they can see the class.
Yep. Yep.
Like
That's
like even as a new runner, I just found out what the GT class was for 10 scale,
okay. Yep. Yep.
because
I
there's no references around there for us to know that. So my thing was like, I want to get new racers in here, new runners, new class, new youth, but you need to give people information, and that was my biggest thing with the track, was information. Clean it up, brighten it up, bringing them national races.
And I'll tell you what, the NASCAR, I've said many times on here before, you have to give kudos to Horizon for coming up with it, because it's a class. You literally take it out of the box and race it. But now, there might be a reason why Grand River might not have any, let's say, the NASCAR stuff hanging on the wall. Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you can only get the Lowe's stuff through Horizon. And to get a Horizon account, you have to spend 40 grand with Horizon off the bat. You have to provide them with all of your hobby shop info, and it has to line up exactly with Horizon standards, because the 40 grand just ain't enough. You got to
Mhm.
be open from this time to that time. You have to provide pictures of the hobby shop. Your hobby shop has to be a certain size. So that's one of the things where it's like, but again, though, he could still get Mugen parts. He could still get Osmatics, X-ray, all that. Ah,
Well, yeah, and that
Oz,
was a thing too, because like originally when we talked about it, he was like, if you don't want to buy the track or the whole thing, then you can do
yeah,
a hobby shop. But I was like, well, the hobby shop only benefits one person.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, absolutely.
that just brings traffic in for you. Like, and I'm getting an 18% spread, but I'm fronting the bill for $40,000, like you said, where Verizon. A main wants to start at
And
25,000, and it's say, nah, you know,
yeah,
if I want it, I want the whole thing. That was my thing. Is
I
like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna take the whole thing.
it's not necessarily a one-man band, but it's like a one group thing, and you can't put two groups together to get it done. It's never worked. I wish it's worked, but it's never worked.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
Yeah,
we,
a
I
lot
had,
of the
I definitely had a
times.
team that was gonna help me, but
yeah, but it's
everybody was on board of what the
your
vision
team.
was. That's what the good thing was.
Yeah, yeah, it's your team though. It's not two teams combining,
Correct,
and
correct.
that's
Because that wasn't
that's the
gonna. I
thing.
didn't see that. Yeah,
It's got to
yeah.
be
from
one. Go ahead, Zach.
from a lot of the tracks that kind of I've been a part of and looking at the numbers from them, and I mean, if you ever get into to running the actual track, you'll see that the hobby shop is the profitable side of it. The racetrack itself, if you can break even on entries from the racetrack to paying your announcer or your racetrack expenses, being maintenance, upgrades, and things like that, you're doing good. That's average or a little bit better than average, but the
Mhm.
money comes from the hobby shop for most of the like the small tracks. Now
Hmm.
you have tracks like Hoosier or the Hobbyplex, Hobby Action. I'm sure there's others, but those tracks actually make money on the track, and then they have like a full hobby shop as well, and then they make a lot of profit off of the hobby shop
Yep.
as a legitimate business by itself.
Yeah. All right, we got a couple guys checking in. We got Oz checking in. Oz used to be on a podcast with me back in the day. Lance Parker, he was at Wicked Weekend. Did Lance come up say hi to you?
I'm not sure. Sean, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, man. I've been through this a million times. I've been through the numbers in my head, and it's like all I keep thinking as well. The one thing that plays over and over and over in my head is if I actually owned the building and I wasn't renting, because if something goes awry and you own the building, you can hang on for a little while.
Yeah, but
So,
that building is a special place. Like,
yeah.
it comes with a lot of specialties that the average track, as listening to Zach talk, the average track does not have this luxury. Like, I've talked to
Uh,
guys that own tracks, like no one spoke of this luxury.
I'll tell you what. So, the coolest track I've ever been to, and it sounds like, do you do any off road?
No, not yet. Not
Okay.
yet.
The coolest building I've been to myself is Island Speedway and Star Collectibles in Muscatine, Iowa. And that is a historic building in a way. So it used to be a toy factory from like the early 1900s. And then during the World Wars, they built munitions. And then they went back to being a toy factory. And then when the toy factory closed, it became a bunch of other things. The last thing it was a shooting range. But the cool thing about it is you have a big, wide open track with no poles. That's huge. No poles in the track. And an awesome driver stand and an awesome announcer and media section. You have all the pits. And that's like you go around a corner. There's a crawler track. You go around another door, there's a national level dirt oval track, a super stocked hobby shop with comic books. I have to actually bring my daughter there one weekend because she's a comic book freak, and that's her thing. And so it's one of those things that because normally, and it's like this in Muscatine too. And I kind of wonder how many. So they also rent U-Hauls out of there. I wonder how many people have come in there renting a U-Haul and be like, "Hey, what's this thing?" And but that's the thing. It's like normally we're just in the middle of nowhere, in front of nobody, in a warehouse doing our thing, or we're guys in a field in the middle of nowhere doing our thing, which we build the coolest track. They build the coolest tracks that nobody ever sees.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, and that's a big thing too. Like making sure you have a cool track that somebody can see.
mhm, mhm.
After talking to the community in my area, in my city, and around, at other places that know of Grand Rapids racing, is like we got national runners in our building.
Yep.
We got guys that have competed at the highest level of this, and I just think that these guys need to be just taken care of better. They need to be, honored a little bit better, respected more.
Yes.
Um, at the same time, give them somewhere they can call home that's really home. Like
Mhm.
when you got a track like that and the track's old, it's kind of like going to your grandma's house. You know, it looked nice, but everything old. It's like
I know.
grandma still got the TV with the booty on the back.
Yep.
Where you go home, you got a flat screen. And that's
Yeah.
kind of like the feel you get. And that was the thing of saying like, when they started telling me we had national runners, and I started meeting these guys, and these guys are like, they love this. They are diehard. And I ain't gonna lie, this is like for me. I own a truck company, so for me, this gets me out of the hustle and bustle and thinking of trucking or lawn care or brokering or anything else with trucking or anything else with my other businesses where I could just sit back and just enjoy some time of just feeling like a regular person for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, and racing does that for me. Like, I didn't think it would, but it does it. Like, I've done golf, I've done bowling. I've coached high school football, middle school football, Rocket League football, because football is my first love. But racing now is just like, it's the thing. It's like, that's my thing. And it was like, if I was to do this,
So
and I know my wife always say you go too far, but this was one of those things I was going state of the art. Like I was going, I'm talking light it up.
RC is a perfect activity to go too far in because you can go broke, but it's hard. Like I was looking
Yeah.
at full scale racing, I would have gone broke fast.
Hmm.
Even
Um,
on cheap stuff.
yeah, even on the cheap stuff, I would have gone broke because knowing myself, I would have driven way too hard and wrecked the car several times. I'm not a guy that goes in and starts driving soft and easy. I just throw it into the wall and see how make it stick. Um, you said football. Oh man, I shouldn't use that as a transition, but I almost want to. So
Go blue.
Sean, so I've been
Sorry,
parking lot
got my
racing a
face.
lot lately. I've been parking lot racing lately because I'm at the point in my life to where it's like I used to look at parking lot racing. I'm like, ew, why would you want to do this? Well, it's a way to get racing in front of people. So, like, we were at a track on Sunday racing. I was racing NASCAR last night at a local bar. But a couple Thursdays ago, my wife and I went to oval track in her old neighborhood. Is about a block and a half away from our old house, and it's in a park, and attached to that park is a football field, and there's an under 13 football game going on. And I'm sitting there when I'm wrenching, I'm kind of looking over. It's like some of these kids are pretty good. It's like, damn, some of these kids are big, like 6'4", 300 pounds, gigantic kids. I'm like, holy crap. But anyways, the game ends just about same time as the A main ends. So we're, sitting there BSing around the track and talking. And then all of a sudden there's a fight that breaks out. I'm like, whatever, it's a fight. And then because I've always been chill about that stuff, maybe a little too chill, because my wife's like, let's go, we gotta go. I'm like, it's just a fight, who cares? And all of a sudden a brawl breaks out.
That's different.
Yeah, where the parents get involved. I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to go. All of a sudden there's a gunshot at a U13 football game.
You stayed too long, Joe.
I did.
You're supposed to leave at the fight.
The wife is usually right, but when you're done racing, you sit and you talk and you BS and you exchange notes, and we were doing that, and I'm like, I did this, and my buddy's like, well, I did that, and all that crap, and that's like, oh crap. Well, thankfully, I wasn't going to tell that story, but my buddy Chris moved locations to a brand new paved parking lot the next town over at a Catholic church. So we might be okay.
Yeah, you guys just can't cuss when racing over there.
I know. Right. I can't bring a cooler full of beer either.
No cooler. Yep, no coolers.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, oof. But that's the thing. I've been racing that NASCAR a lot because it's like, if a kid walks up to me and says, can I try that? I turn that little switch down on the radio to 50% and go, here you go, and let them go ham. And people are practicing, hey, take out that guy. He out-qualified.
You're sending out a hitman, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
So have you tried the have you tried the NASCAR asphalt tires yet? That what they did with Hoosier?
So my buddy has, so there is no real difference. So we did timed. The rain tires are a tick slower, but they're super easy to drive. The Hoosier tires are the same speed as the NASCAR tires, soft compound.
Yep. But what I like about them is that you don't have to glue them or anything, and you can just take them out and run them.
Yeah. So on the pavement, I'm not gluing.
Or are you talking carpet though?
No, I'm talking about asphalt, because sometimes people just use their old carpet ones, and you see that push in the front of it. But I was mad because this weekend I killed myself and made myself to the B main, and I switched tires in I think the third qualifier, and I was like, man, that was way better.
Was it okay? It was way better. What weighted grease do you like in the diffs?
80.
80. Damn, I'm at like 15.
Have you tried the Kyosho greases?
Yes.
I use I like 1-Up.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Let me look.
Okay, Zach. Right now, the Kyosho greases, you can get the 15 and the 30, but you can't get much else. Like
really? I thought they had like a 60 or something.
No, they do. It's just out of stock. Believe me.
I've heard some of our off-road guys talk about that brand. I haven't really spent much time in it.
Yeah.
Sean, I don't see any weighted greases from 1-Up. Are you talking the oils?
Yeah, oils. I just use oils.
Oh, I'm using grease because the diffs aren't sealed, and the grease is in the diff better than the oils. Eventually, the grease will come out.
Try the grease.
Hold on 1 second. You guys keep talking. I'll grab a pot of the grease that I'm using.
Okay. Yeah. So, you're familiar with? Well, you ran TTO2, right? Or run?
Correct.
So, I ran the Euro truck, which is almost the same. And so with that, I like the actually I used 1 million in the front diff, which you have to get out with a screwdriver because it's so thick. It doesn't pour out like a grease or an oil. And then I use the Kyosho 15K grease in the shocks because it doesn't leak out like an oil. And it stays consistent like a silicone oil. I learned that from 12 Skill guys. Actually, I bet Andrew Knapp or Chuck Lonergan could hook you up with that.
Andrew Knapp's not. So this is MXLR slow-mo grease 30K.
I forgot about
now, it's not.
Now I do have some of the MXLR ones. I do have some of that.
Yep, it's not as good as Kyosho grease, but it's as good as you're gonna get without it being Kyosho.
So I gotta go
'Cause
to
I
Kyosho.
well,
Zach,
no,
Go
I mean,
try
you're
it.
gonna have to text me that setup, and I'm gonna
yeah.
try
All
it.
right.
As well, did you watch the what's that Murph Dog video on the NASCAR?
No, I haven't.
So I did. The first time I raced that thing was July 2nd. Oh, he disappeared for a second. Oh no, I think he dropped off. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's all right. I wonder if it. Oh, I bet he got a phone call.
Oh, maybe.
That happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is interesting stuff. It's cool that we got a guess. I mean, you text me what, an hour
An hour
before?
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I text Sean, and so what happened? So Sean, I've known Sean for about a year now, maybe a
Yep.
little bit longer, and he's a cool guy. We've talked on the phone quite a bit, and then he's been busy with his businesses recently, and life and whatnot, and but he's a big DRC supporter. And I knew he was in that area, and he talked about Grand River a little bit, and I knew that he raced there. So I texted him, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on with this track?" And so he calls me and he goes, "You're not gonna believe this shit," and so goes into the whole story.
Yeah.
And so I'm on the phone with Sean, and I go, "Hey man, I gotta let you go. I got a podcast 8:30. I want to hang out with my daughter for a little bit."
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, I'm not doing anything with an hour. If you want me to jump on."
Yep.
So I was like, well, great.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we can't hear you. Oh, but I'm getting. Hold
I
on one
think your
sec.
headset isn't connected. Oh,
There we go. Now let's try it. There we go. So, anyways, yeah.
So yeah, Sean volunteered his time. I thought it'd be a great guest to get on here and learn a little bit about the situation, kind of firsthand, without getting into some of the BS about it.
Yeah.
I
I think I hear Sean. I heard him for a second.
He's having the same issues I had. That's what's going on
He
here.
is.
He can't get his headset and camera to work at the same time.
So before this episode, I was working on my vintage car and I forgot to turn my crap on first. And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I turned this on like as soon as I turned it on like 10 minutes before the episode. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a fail on my end, but it actually worked out well. So yeah, Sean will come back eventually, but let's see here. What else we got? You got Wicked Weekend. I raced at the compound. I did a bunch of parking lot races. I mean, man, we've been busy. So I don't know. Should we get into short stuff or wait or
do a short topic, and if Sean doesn't come back, we'll just keep going, I guess. I'm not really sure what's going on with him. He just texted me that he's having issues.
That's all right. So Team Associated's come out with a few new vehicles. They've come out with a new, well-needed, updated Truggy, which, yeah, okay, I was bummed out because the release looked like it was going to be a sprint car. They intentionally made it look like a sprint car. You can't tell me that was anything else.
Well, pull it up.
I'll pull up I'll try to pull it up on Facebook here. Because that was the frustrating thing. I got to open up another browser. But it's like, okay, that makes sense. And then they come out with another RC10 4-wheel drive, I got to bring up the main browser. And then everybody's talking about, how they just did it to put it in the face of MIP and all that. And nobody's saying what needs to be said. and I didn't want to say it. Where's my search bar? I do not know how to use it on a computer.
You're getting old, Joe.
Well, I'm so used to the see, I'm searching it for Team Associate, and it's the first thing that pops up. Okay. So the problem with all these RC10 four-wheel drives and the MIP conversions and all that, and the reason they were a blip in history and worth all the money they were, because they were terrible. They were god-awful cars. You weren't even alive yet, Zach.
That's true.
The MIP four-wheel drive car was a very rare miss from Eustace Moore and MIP. And then Team Associated took that nostalgia of a bad car. Like I saw one that was, I'm trying to pull it up. There's a lot of wicked stuff from let's see if I can scroll. But anyway, so they do a lot of, like I saw a brand new four-wheel drive MIP car come out. Like everything was brand new, and this before the re-releases, and it sold for like $4,000. I'm like, makes sense. It really does. Okay, here we go. Man, it really does make sense because of the nostalgia factor and how rare it was, because it was a blip in history. It was a blip in history because it was a bad car. The RC10 was not made to be four-wheel drive.
Correct.
And now people have all these weird delusions of grandeur. So you're telling me that doesn't look like a sprint car to you with that gigantic, like, curved wing?
I'm gonna say no, and I'll tell you
Really?
why.
I want to hear why.
Yeah. So okay. So I can see.
I
So
see it
you
now.
can see the rear wheels,
Yep.
and you can see the front wheels, and then it's on an angle here, so you can see it's kind of like a regular shape,
Sure.
buggy-ish wing from a bygone era.
Yeah.
You would expect a lot more in the middle area if it was one of those sprint cars, because it's not just a wedge shape. It's not a 12 scale.
Yep.
So I would say it's a buggy. You can see the split shock towers in the front too, under the blanket.
Yeah, I was just
So
looking at this angle. That's what
yeah,
threw me off.
it's on a car stand, and I
Yes,
think they
it
did
is.
that on purpose. I think
I do.
they threw you off on purpose.
You're probably right, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, a little bit of I think Sean might be back here. Hold on, there he is. Let me add the stage. There he is. How's it going, Sean?
Good, good. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, did you get a phone call?
Yeah, I didn't know what happened. I thought you guys kicked me back out the backstage.
No. No. What happened was I removed you once because the reverb was coming through your microphone. Hold on, let me get us back to where we were. There we go. So we were just going through and looking at some of the new associated releases and talking about all the four-wheel drive junk they've been doing. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Be right back.
Oh,
Well,
anyways.
anyway, I just want to come back and have a great send off with you guys. So I appreciate you guys
Yeah.
having me on. And
No problem.
I watch you guys all the time.
It's great
I'm always on there talking to y'all.
Awesome.
I just
Yeah,
never
we
thought my first
appreciate
one
it.
would be this one.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. But yeah,
I
check
thought the
this
first
out.
one was going to win after I win a national one day or something.
Nah.
So weird.
I mean, if I had a way to be on a podcast to win a national, I'd never be on a podcast.
Now I like podcasts. I used to have a podcast show,
Oh yeah. What was it called?
The Man Cave,
Okay.
which we're
Just
actually bringing back.
Yeah.
You and CJ?
I think CJ might get on it with me. We talked about it.
Okay. Yeah, man. Do you post it to Spotify and stuff as well, the audio?
Oh yeah, Spotify. We use all of it. YouTube. There's old shows
Yep.
out there with it. If you look up the Man Cave, there's old shows out there. There's a whole crew
Yeah,
of us, but I have
definitely.
it now where I have the rights to it now. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been wanting to bring back my MMA show. I just got to figure out a day to do it.
With
I
your
miss
spare
doing
time?
that. Yeah, I have no spare time, but I want to do it. So,
So,
but
but you guys have fun. I'm gonna finish watching. I
all
got a
right.
few more things to
Sounds
do yet tonight.
all
I
right.
just said I'll stop and have this conversation because it just needed to be had and said. So, but I
Yeah,
appreciate y'all.
yeah, definitely. We appreciate it.
And Zach, as always, man, call me, brother.
We'll talk, Sean. I'll give you a call next week when I have a little bit of free time.
Okay.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Later, fellas.
Later. All right. Now let's that was Sean Jones, Michigan racer, on-road racer. It's when he started talking NASCAR, my ears perked up. It's like, ooh, I gotta send him the Murph Dog video.
Yeah, Sean's a really cool guy. I'll send him
Yeah.
the Kyosho greases. Sean likes getting into it. He's newer into the I guess he's taking it more of a sport than a hobby at this point.
Oh, that's good.
But he he's only been doing it like 2 years. But he's seems to be really cool with learning
What
and
the heck?
asking questions. And just kind of a cool guy to talk to. He's got a lot of history in the Michigan area, a lot of family there, a lot of cool stories, a lot of good friends. So it was nice to get to know him over
Yeah.
the last year or two.
I wanna.
What are you doing,
No
Joe?
way. I'm zoomed in on this picture at the Masami box
Okay.
because it doesn't look like a picture of Masami.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna add it to the stage.
I have a
That does not.
vague. Is it a young Masami? Is that what he looked like when he was in what is that, the 80s, the late 80s?
That's 89. I
I
don't
mean,
know. Is
I
that
only know
an Easter
Masami
egg?
from now.
Is that an
So,
Easter egg?
of
Hold
what?
on.
Who? Who
Of
would that
Mas-
be?
I don't know, but let's. I'll pull up a picture of Masami 1989.
Okay.
But anyway, so you went to the Wicked Weekend.
I did actually.
So what are your takeaways? How was because I mean you had the full booth set up,
I
all
did.
that.
So sorry, Lance. I met just an absolute ton of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people come up to the booth, and I tried to interact with all of them, and my brain is just crammed full of names and faces, and like I'm trying to remember them all, and I'm just. And you said you bought the Dean's lead, and then it, ping.
Yeah.
But so yeah, the sales wise, it was good, not amazing, but it good. I got to meet a lot more people that had never heard about DRC. I got to see a lot of people who support DRC that I've never met before, and I got to meet a lot of people who didn't know anything about DRC and bought some products from me, which was really nice. They, at these events I go to, I generally give away at least one $100 DRC gift certificate that
Okay.
they can use at the booth or online.
Who got it this time? Oh,
So actually, both the people I'm still waiting on a call back. I sent them
okay.
emails, messages on Facebook, and I called them. So, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But
Dude, we got Mike, real quick. We got Mike Winters and we got JV Go Racing checking in. So JV Goes Racing. Check out his stuff on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. It's a lot of fun. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt with plugs, but now, when oh, dude, this ain't the same. This is an Easter egg of some sort. Anyways, keep going, and we'll get back to
We'll
this.
circle back.
We're not letting this go. We're not
Okay,
letting.
we'll
this
we'll circle back. We'll circle back. So, you know, in terms of there were I guess 5 vendors, 6. There was a lot of vendors there. So you
Okay.
had Drew from Nitro Pro, you had
Yep.
Jared Tebow, JTP,
Yep.
you had Rhino from Rhino Racing, Ken from Speed Demon, you have Chad from N2RC, you had Bob and I want to say it's Lance. I could be wrong with that name, from Beach RC.
Okay.
I guess you had DRC, but I just do charging stuff, so like kind of half.
Yeah.
Those guys have more complete shops. J-Con was there, but I don't know if they sold anything. But their booth was right there. Exalt was there.
Okay.
Kevin with Exalt was there.
Cool.
And so there's a lot of vendors. I was very surprised to see that many people, but it almost makes sense because it's kind of in the middle of everything. So like, I think Drew from Nitro Pro is relatively close for that. It's like his home track area. I think the same with Tebow. I know Ken from Speed Demons close. He's in Florida. Same with Kevin Abbott with Exalt. And then I think Rhino, that's close to his spot as well. And I don't know about Jared, but and for me it was about 8 hours, but it's kind of the middle-ish for everybody. So it kind of makes sense. There was a bunch of people there.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming
So-
it'd be a large haul for Tebow.
You know, I just don't know where Tebow is from.
Like Kansas City-ish.
Maybe.
Maybe like his home track is Fastlane, which is a suburb of Kansas. So, whatever that
Okay.
distance is.
So, let's
Speaking of Tebow, dude, that would be like, that is such an awesome family experience that he is built for himself. Because his wife comes and runs the booth with him. He's got his boys racing with him. All that. It's a family business, and they're racing as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's talk about some of the other stuff. And we'll get to the track and the racing, but
Yes,
because
yes.
I was there, you guys get kind of the nitty gritty of it.
Yes.
It rained like hell Thursday night. Like it just poured, and then it poured Friday like you've never seen. Joe, I'll send you a picture of some gutters that are 8 inches in diameter.
Yeah. I'll bring it up because, hold on. While you're bringing that up now, sorry to change your subject. I got to do this because I can't stop looking at this.
With the Easter eggs again?
Yes, because this is Masami from the 1989 box. This is on the actual box. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
Okay.
That's Masami.
Okay.
Okay. Who the hell is this guy?
That's a low quality Masami. That is the Temu of Masamis.
That is not Masami. That is not Masami. The mouth is different. There's no teeth shown. The guy in this box is alien. It's totally different. I wonder if that box was a misprint and they put it in the background because they're like, oh, have to be an absolute dork to notice something like that. The hair's different. A little bit. Sorry. I just had to finish that off. You guys look at You guys can look at it yourselves. Sorry. Anyways, so
So
yeah,
it
so
it
it was
rained like
raining.
hell.
Yeah.
The man, there was the dust was great while it was raining, and then as soon as it stopped, it came and just the DRC booth was covered. You could write names on the
Oh,
tables. Product is destroyed. Like I'm still cleaning stuff. I'm not even done.
that sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks. The product was destroyed. Wow.
Well, it's not destroyed, but yeah. So that's one of the gutters. All the gutters look like this. Just water flying out of it. It's an 8-inch pipe below it. The gutter's like I don't know, 8 inches wide, I guess.
Yeah.
And
That's so now obviously the track has a roof over it, but that much moisture and all that. What effect did that have? Did that have any effect on the racing surface?
yeah, so yeah, I talked to a few guys about this. So let's go into why I heard there were so many ruts. So I wasn't there Wednesday, so I can't tell you what happened on Wednesday. But
Okay.
what I was told was that the track was super wet from all the rain that week on Wednesday when they started practice. And because the track was so wet, it got blown out really easily.
Mhm.
And they fixed some of the spots that they could, but some of the just track didn't set right because it was so wet.
Yep.
And so, I don't know why things were or weren't fixed or what, like, why decisions were made. I didn't have I saw Dave in passing. I waved at him.
Yeah.
And then because at these events, if you've ever seen Dave, there's like a crowd of 15 people trying to talk to him at the same time.
Sure.
And he's running around doing all the things. It's same with like Lance and everybody
Yeah.
else. But and that's not a dig on him. It's just, he's a super busy dude. So, I don't have the chance to talk to him or ask him about it. And so so the track got blown out. They fixed some spots, I was told. And then they fixed some more spots. If you go to the DRC Facebook page, you don't have to do this, Joe, but if you're interested to see kind of what shape the track was in, if you go to the DRC Facebook page, I posted a live. Well, there's 2 lives. The first one is just of one corner that
Yep.
the DRC booth was in front of. That was just, it was blown up. It was bad. It was really bad. Like it should have been like hollowed out or filled in, because at least it would have been like something. But it was like it was not good. They fixed the jumps that were broken. They got broken, the faces and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why the track got blown out so bad.
Okay.
So I do have, so Joe, I was telling you I had a couple stories about
Yep.
some things I saw. One of the stories was Cav was coming around the blown out corner in front of the DRC booth, and his chassis nose, so like the the front of the divots like this, his chassis nosed in, and I want to say Fee or somebody else like went under him, and then they both got stuck there.
Oh, like
and they had to get marshaled.
No, so I was looking at those. I was wondering if things like that were happening because I saw some of the video. I didn't see that incident, but I've also saw the aftermath and the pictures and the dude laying in a divot that was, you could cover him. You could cover him in dirt and it would be, and that's just, I mean, they probably built the best track that they could in the weather that they were given, but yeah, Don Tolbert said everybody race the same surface, and he makes a point, but there's a point to where it gets blown out so much with an A scale that it's no longer fun because there's guys that are like Dakota had a phenomenal weekend, which I'm happy to see. I was kind of half getting worried about him a little, not worried, but it's like,
He seemed a little bit in a rut.
yeah, that 4th, 5th place rut type deal.
Yeah.
But
So I mean, I think what should have been done if you didn't want to like go pack more dirt in and have it blown out is just dig out that section. Even though it's not ideal, you could have done. So there was a couple spots in that rut that were still
Yep.
like normal height ish. You could have dug that out. There was another so there was this big U shape kind of
Yep.
rut or C shape rut around the corner, and
Yep.
then there was like 2 feet of regular surface, and then there was another big rut that guys like jumped into.
Yeah,
I think you could have just dug that out, and then it would have been okay.
you're right. You're right. And that is the way to fix them. You can try to cover them, but the exact same thing would happen. What you do is you just shave the edges of the rut. So it's not like a wall. It's like a ramp going up. You know what I mean?
I think that would have been okay. I know it wouldn't have been perfect, but like,
Oh, you don't need
it's
perfect.
off-road racing.
Yeah, you don't need perfect. Yeah, Lance is saying
Yeah.
the track, his nitro truck was getting completely thrown around. And I understand it. And that's another thing. So this is where racecraft and experience comes in. Not saying that Lance doesn't have it, but Lance hasn't been racing. I've been on tracks like this, and you start out the weekend racing 100%. I don't think I would be even racing 70% during those mains. I think it would just be like soft, super like act like your truck is already broken and you're just trying to limp it home soft.
Steering inputs in
Because
those corners are very limited.
yeah. Yeah, Lance is saying
I
I
saw
don't have
guys do
experience for that.
donuts.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that, like you said, steering inputs, turn your dual rate way down. Because if you're going into a corner and you're going into a rut, that rut's going to give you 20% more dual rate and just hook you in.
So,
Eh.
sorry, but if we keep talking about the ruts, we're going to be here all night.
Yeah, but besides that, so how was the actual race Sunday? I was racing in the parking lot that was hot as the devil's butthole.
So, I got to see some racing, and it was, I feel like it was maybe not there seemed like there was only one line around the track that was kind of the fast line. Now the ruts made it possible for you to take kind of a little bit different line, but you're kind of in the same-ish area. So I felt like the racing was a little bit lacking. And honestly, I would like to see some more heads-up racing from these guys. Especially like the pro and the intermediate guys, because they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, the pro guys are good, but the intermediate guys are pretty good. I've watched
the top intermediate guys. Think of Kyle Holmberg. That's your top intermediate guy.
Yeah. So
which is fast as fuck.
Yeah. So I got to watch a lot of racing, but it was kind of like, and this isn't a dig on them, but it's just like how it transpired. I don't mean this in any way, and Lance or whoever is watching, just kind of how I saw it is like the traffic was the racing thing, or the ruts were the racing kind of the X factor that you didn't know what was going to happen. It reminded me a little bit of on-road, in like a small on-road track where there isn't room to pass per se. Like there's room for you to pull off, but you have to make your own pass. And I'm not
Sure.
a huge fan of those layouts. I did think the layout was good, like in terms of like
Yep.
technicality to jumps and like driver um difficulty and stuff. I thought it was good. I think it could have been better, but like, you know what? I didn't design it. I don't race off-road anymore. I, so I thought it was good.
Yep.
That, but we've been hearing this from a lot from, the guys on the other podcasts with, the No Name, and I'm
Yep.
sure some other guys have said this, but I would like to see some more heads up racing and actually get some racing. I would have loved to stay for the mains, but it was an 8-hour drive for me and I had to work on Monday. So
Yep.
I left at noon. I didn't get to see any of the pro mains, which I really enjoy.
So
I would love to have.
I was going to try to make a point, but my point is invalid. So I was going to look up lap times and see what Dakota, so Dakota Q1, 98% efficiency, 32.2 for a fast lap. Okay.
Mhm.
This was electric buggy A main, 31.2 for a fast lap, 99%. So he was using those ruts to his advantage hardcore.
So you really saw a discrepancy, I feel like, in the Mayfields, the Dakotas, and the guys who had. I mean, you could really see it in the overall qualifying. Like if we
Mhm.
look at Pro Electric Buggy with Jonah
Mhm.
Wilson and Spencer Rivkin being 2 and 3. And you have Mason Fuller number 4.
Yep.
But then you have like guys that are in no put down to Douglas, but I do feel like Mayfield is better than Douglas at
Mhm.
this point. But Douglas did outqualify Mayfield, and you had Wiggins and then Fee, and then you had this is something else I wanted to bring up. But so Tater's been doing really good, and then this weekend he's in the B main.
Yep.
Or well, what would be I forget how many they took, but he's 13th overall. You got B Rose in 11, which is pretty weird. Aiden Horn doing some 8-scale racing with his
Yep.
toupee on. I have a picture I'm going to share with you, Joe, maybe I can do a screen.
So why are there 2 8? I'm on that thing where you're like select 3 drivers to compare. Aiden Horn twice.
That's a different thing. I do want to talk about that as well. I'm gonna go to Facebook. Okay.
So
can you guys see that?
I will pull it up in 2 seconds.
No, I'm sharing it on the.
There we go.
Here.
I had to add it to stage.
Oh, you did it? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll stop.
Well, no.
Oh shit.
You did it.
I'm sorry.
But you put it up. I have to add it to stage. No, it looks like
let me do it again.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Okay, it doesn't look that bad in person. It's just Team Associated did him dirty in person, or in this photo.
Yeah. Oh, what the heck? There it goes. Oh yeah.
So he doesn't look that bad in person. It looks a little different, but it looks like a bad toupee.
Yeah. But he's still 23 years old. He's got all of his hair and all that. His dad, Alan, has ridiculous hair. I'm jealous.
So yeah, but so
JV's wondering about wagering in pro class RC events like horse racing. Now that's a question.
I think that would be fine, honestly.
I think it would be fine with people who could handle it. You're gonna have the couple of guys like everything, like as with drinking or with smoking pot or gambling in regular situations. 99% of them is fine. It's that 1% that F's it for everyone involved. So anyway, so yeah, Wicked
Yeah.
Weekend. Now, is that another event you would go back to again as a vendor?
I did. It was good. The problem is that it is 8 hours away. And I got there late at Thursday. So like really I should be there Wednesday, which makes it even longer. And it's hard to take that much time off work.
It is.
DRC's got a bazillion things going on, and I'm the only employee.
What's your
So
lead time?
right now it's 4 weeks, but that's not I have a lot of back end stuff that I'm trying to get done, and I'm not trying to put the lead time at 8 weeks so I can get it done.
Yeah.
But if I can't get it done here soon, that's what's going to happen. So it's just kind of, how it is. But I would go back there. I don't know that I'm going to go back there next year just because I do have, so if you guys are at any of these 8 skill races or, there's a variety of 10 skill races the vendors hit as well. But, Ryan from Rhino Racing and Ken from Speed Demon have the DRC products. So if you need any DRC products, go hit them up. Very nice dudes. I can't thank them enough for carrying the product. I think it was a good race. Lance and I think it was Patrick who did the announcing.
Yep.
They did a good job. Yes. Yeah. They did a good job on the announcing, the racing, management of the practice was overall good, but they should have had called out some people that were up there for a long time if that was an issue. So there were, I'm not going to call anybody out, but I heard some stuff that there was a lot of drivers that had people marshal for them and then they just went back up.
That happens so often. Pro pretends to be a buddy with somebody. Hey, can you stand in line for me? Or hey, can you marshal for me? And Jason, he goes, when I grow up someday, I want to be like Joe Jr. Oh man.
I don't know that that's a problem, but like there was a couple times that I don't know this happened when there was a line this long, but the line was like wrapped around.
Here's the thing.
It was like 6-7 practices deep.
They come up and ask me a question like that. Sure. $50. $50 you can have my spot in line, or $50 I'll go marshal for you so you can have another spot. Whatever. I'm not your pal. That stuff has monetary value.
Yeah.
How important is that extra 5 minutes, or is it like 3 minutes?
Well, it's I think it was 5 minutes, and
okay.
It's more than that, because if you have to wait in that line that's 6 practices long, and there's a minute in between each practice, that's 35
minutes.
Yeah, on the low side. And so, I get it. But at the same time, like, it's supposed to be the same for everybody.
Yeah, it is. But Jason's saying it's just toy car racing, but it's a big event with 763 entries. These guys
and guys that get paid to race.
Yeah, guys that get paid to race. Now these guys want extra practice. If I'm standing in three practices ahead of them, that spot is extremely valuable to them. It's not valuable to a guy like,
what's going on with your internet, Joe? It's terrible.
Me, who would be a sports. Sorry, man. Mine's. I mean,
is it me?
Jason's like, wow, Zach has there. No, it's
Joe
me.
breaking
It's
up
me.
for you guys,
but my internet's good.
Okay. Sure.
Oh no, you're clear on this end. Sorry,
You're not
my
clear on
internet.
this end.
It's just the video's clear on my feed. I should get a wig for the show. Actually, I have been thinking about going to
One like
Turkey for
Aiden
getting
Horde.
hair plucked. Yeah, I've been thinking
Ask
about going to
Aiden to shave
Turkey.
it. So
Yeah, but
make it for a good cause.
there's better things I can spend my money on. It's too late in life to have. I'm 44 years old now.
You look
44.
fine bald. You would look weird with hair now.
I would. Yes, I
Well,
would.
my dad. So my dad has the thing,
Yep.
and then like a little bit right here.
Yeah. You know
And
what's
like
weird?
I've been trying to get him to shave the whole thing for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Don saying glitch and lag. Well, I apologize, Don. The audio will be good on Spotify and Apple. One thing that's weird is the top. I can still feel every piece of hair when it's growing in. You just can't see it.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. Just keep shaving it. You look better shaved now.
No,
You look
I'm
fine.
good. Yeah, no, I'm an old jiu-jitsu dork that races RC cars. Hair's not going to help my life at all.
It doesn't. You just get made fun of by Jason Chang,
But I
who
also
also
say
does not have hair.
yes, the forehead's causing issues. Yeah.
All right, so let's
Look at
get
it.
into some other things. I saw in the race, and then we'll get into qualifying
Okay.
and results. So
Yeah.
so I watched some of the pro, and I watched some of the intermediate buggy and truggy races. So the pro that there was there was a runaway that happened. I believe it was with Fee's car, and Fee's car came out. So there's like this kind of area that goes straight, and then it comes on to the front straight. Or
Mhm.
yeah, and Mayfield was coming down that front straight right as Fee's car went over, and Mayfield clobbered this thing full like as fast as they were going on this front straight. Luckily, it was a short front
No.
straight because it
Yeah.
would have destroyed both cars. The marshal grabbed Fee's car, stomped on the clutch, put it out. Mayfield ran the rest of the race. I can't say anything, but that thing is indestructible because
Yep.
I wanted to ask him how it handled after that, and I'm sure he would have been, well, it was a little off, but it was fine, you know.
Yeah.
And man, it was just incredible to see because if that would have happened in any other class, both cars would have been absolutely wrecked. A 10 scale, any 12 scale, any other class. What you got there, Joe?
Oh, sorry. No, the body was falling, so I just pulled it off.
Oh, okay. So that happened. I heard there were some new parts being tested there. I can't really divulge what because I was asked not to. What was being tested or not being tested. We can assume that all brands were testing.
Yeah.
You know, I have to wonder if Dakota was using any parts because of his jump in position relative to other guys.
Did
You know, that would be
Dakota have the
speculation.
new? Did Dakota have the new Fly Sky radio? Did you notice?
You know, I didn't ask. I didn't even ask about the radio.
Okay.
That would have been a good person to ask about the radio.
It would have been.
Well, I'm gonna see him again.
Yeah.
I'll ask him that. Just remind me next time because that's not in the forefront of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would Mayfield seems like he's testing a lot of stuff for techno still because they're coming out with new parts all the time. I did see some shiny bits of aluminum on intermediate drivers X-ray cars,
Yep.
like Ackerman plates and stuff. So that was for sure being tested. I didn't see a lot of stuff going on with the Sparkle cars just because there weren't like a ton of them, but they did pretty good overall. yeah, there was that's kind of really all that's there. But so there's a couple kids coming up in intermediate that have potential. I don't know if they're gonna make it to like a real pro level. It's kind of to be determined. Because they're kind of
It's a hard jump.
it's a hard jump, but also so I'll take Ben Decker as an example
Yep.
because Ben's raced 10 scale for a long time, longish time that I've known about him for about 2 years now, and I think I guess it's been closer to 3 years now, but for 2 years I've known he's raced 8 scale. And when he started out, I think he was sportsman, and I didn't ask him. And then he moved up. I don't know if it was this year or last year to intermediate. But he won intermediate buggy this weekend.
Oh, wow.
And he did pretty good at his other classes as well. So so let's pull up a little bit of qualifying here. So
Okay.
he ran intermediate electric buggy.
Yep.
Qualified 12th, which isn't amazing. But not bad. He did I think he did intermediate nitro truggy. And he was 6th, which is pretty good. Nitro truggy's a little bit specialized. And then I think he did another one. Maybe he did nitro buggy. No, he
Yep.
did another one. It was open truggy, right? Yeah, open truggy. He got 9th, which is pretty good.
Yep.
And so Ben qualified pretty well. We'll have to, we got to talk about this guy that I don't know if anybody's heard of him, but his name's Talon Henley.
Yeah.
I got to keep scrolling here. Let's see, where did Talon? Oh, 53rd. Okay, Talon qualified
This had to have
53rd.
been like his first A scale race in years.
Pretty much. He and he had a rough go. So Talon, just giving him some shit because I can. So he DNF'd Q3, which he really needed. Talon
Yeah.
needed this to do anything. Made 0 laps. In Q2, he blew it off the track a lot. He had some setup problems that made his car very difficult to drive because he didn't know better. But in Q1, well, he's just had all this. I watched his car. He had all the steering in the world. Just his car was literally doing donuts. And in Q1, he got a 34. Talon won I believe the E or the D main, whichever when he made it, and then he got all the way up to 3rd or 2nd in the next main, and then ended up going 3rd.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
well, I mean, not bad, but you have a mixed bag in intermediate. So like, let's look at intermediate electric buggy. You got Pat Rossiter, who is damn near 40 years old, taking 2nd. He's never going to be a pro. He's an awesome racer. He's one of the better guys behind the mic, but he'll never be a pro RC car racer.
Wait, are we where are we at the mains here?
I'm just saying, yeah, but then I'm talking just intermediate, but then you have Mad Maddie Long, who's, what is she, 15, 16?
Oh, she's young. I saw her. I thought she was like, I'm surprised she was holding a controller. Everyone's getting too young.
She has potential to be the first legitimate female pro.
Colton,
and you have, who was that?
Colton and Antonio.
Yes.
I feel like these are young kids that are not doing. They're relatively inexperienced, I would say. They're still up and coming. I don't know that any of them are 20 years old. Like, they're all, I think, 18 or less. I think if you throw out Antonio, I would say like 16 or less.
Yeah.
Colton, I don't think Benjamin's that old. Like these guys and gals
Yes.
are real young and have, you know, a long way to develop. Now, do they make it to that pro level? Do they make it to a Cole Ogden or a Cole Caston level? Do they make it to a Camden Lime or a Fuller level? Or do they make it to a something special fee level?
Yeah, there's an incredible amount of potential in the young intermediate group. And what's cool about intermediate, you got guys like Pat Rossiter and you got Chris Morant. Chris Morant's got to be pushing 40 at this point as well.
I don't think
Uh,
Ryan Daze is that young.
Yeah, and they're up, they're mixing it up, and they're mixing it up not with just other young up and coming racers, but dudes with a shit ton of experience too. You're not just getting blown off the track, when you're racing with these guys, you're actually getting raced properly
Well, I mean,
in
yes and
ways.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, you have being an intermediate racer,
Yes.
you don't have the experience of racecraft fully developed yet.
Right.
Especially on, I witnessed several drivers racing the leader that had relatively no business racing the leader. They're coming up to lap them, or
Yeah.
the leader came up, or a faster car even came up on them relatively quick.
Yep.
And
Get out of the
it's
way.
hard to call out. Well, it's hard to call out all the positions, so you don't know if that's for position or whatnot.
Sure.
So it's a little difficult, but I still think there's something to be desired from these individuals, these intermediate drivers. But they're intermediate drivers. Like, great, they have stuff they can do to become better drivers.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
let's look at some results, Joe. What do you think?
Yeah, because I was just looking around the results, and it's like, man, like it looked like Dakota, and mostly Dakota in the important classes.
Yeah. So I mean, Dakota went 1-1-2. So Dakota went. I believe he TQ'd Electric Buggy and won it.
Mhm.
Pro Nitro Buggy, I believe he did the same. And then Truckee, I think he qualified second and then got second. And
That's awesome.
I was looking at the Ryan Mayfield's time who won and
Mhm.
Dakota Fenn's times who won. And there was a couple bobbles from Dakota that I would have loved to have watched or go back and watch, because there's
Yep.
like a 40-some second lap time and there was some high 37s in there, whereas Mayfield didn't have those. He had like some 36s, and so I'm trying to so Dakota finished 11 seconds behind a Mayfield. So I wonder if he had like a Marshall or something in there, or two Marshalls, a big bobble, something that wasn't quite right.
Sure.
But his buggies were on point. He looked amazing out there, which is ridiculous. I don't know how anyone can look amazing out there, but Dakota did. Who kind of surprised me on this is Rivkin.
Keep going.
So Rivkin did really good in electric
Yeah.
buggy, and less so in nitro buggy, but he doesn't race nitro as much, I would say. But B Rose
Mhm.
in nitro buggy, second. B Rose in electric buggy, third. That's pretty good.
Yep.
He's
Right
not
now,
winning,
those
but
were
I
the
would
important
say,
classes.
yeah. But if you're going second and third in the buggy classes at a pro level, like, you're right there. You just got to find kind of what you're looking for. So, and what you could use to look at that is a new software that Elite RC and RC Garage have launched together. And that's the link I sent to
Okay.
you, Joe.
Yeah, I'll pop it
So
back up. Had it up. So
so it's
RC Garage. So this is a little bit of Matt Olson in this too. Then
well, so actually
a little bit.
Bobby from RC
Yep.
Garage did it.
Okay.
I hope I'm saying all that right. I know his name's Bobby. I hope it's RC Garage that was the right thing. So they launched this at the race,
Okay.
and so you have all the different classes, and then you can select up to 3 drivers to compare them in each class. So I don't know why there are duplicates now. There weren't duplicates in the race.
So
So I
let's
don't know
go
what that
to
is.
Pro Nitro Buggy and let's choose. Let's choose Ryan Mayfield and Seth Van Dalen and a Dakota Fend. Techno X-Ray and hit compare. So it has Q1, your comparisons, and I'm guessing the red is when you were. Oh yeah, so that's interesting.
Red is slow.
Red is slow. It's giving you sector times.
Yeah. So so they broke it into 3 sections. Now the thing
Yep.
so I gave Lance some feedback on this is I don't know where those sections are, and I don't know when the sections stop and start.
Yep.
But
It looked
you know,
like it has them separated almost by exact thirds.
yeah, so I would agree with that, but I don't know where that is on the track. If I'm gonna guess, like it's hard to say.
Yep.
But I think this is really cool. A very, very good start to some cool software
Definitely.
that's being used. You can see which driver's faster in which section. And then you could go back and watch that driver and be like, okay, well, we'll say Dakota Fenn's fastest in section 1, and I'm fastest in section
Yep.
3. I'm Ryan Mayfield. I'm fastest
Yep.
in section 3. I don't really know who's fastest, but whatever. Ryan can go back and watch Dakota in section 1 and see what Dakota's doing that's different than Ryan's doing and learn from that. Be like, oh, okay, Dakota's taking the triple like this. He's doing double single instead of a triple. And that, I think that's what's making him faster. So this next race, I'm going to go out and do a double single instead of the triple and see if that was the thing that made me faster or slower. Because I mean, ultimately, we're looking at it. We don't have like F1 data, but this is really cool and something that they launched for this race, and I think they're going to be doing more of and going to be updating and making it better as they go. But this is kind of where they started. They did some updates on the fly based off of some of the feedback that was given, which I thought was amazing that they could even do that, because this is like freaking genius to me. I couldn't even begin to know where to start on this. This is amazing.
Yes.
And so I think, kudos to the elite guys and to Bobby for coming up with this.
The website is rcstats.io.
Right. And they do a live version too. And
so I'm kind of curious where you can go. So you can browse races.
I haven't messed around with that, so I don't know what's
well,
there,
I'm
what's
just
not
looking.
there.
I'm kind of curious. So you go back to live. Oh, it just goes complete. I think that they only did the one race with it so far.
Well, they just launched it for Wicked, so that would make sense.
Yes. But what would be cool is if it is an RC Garage product, you know how everything from RC Garage automatically gets loaded onto Profiles.
Yeah.
It would be pretty cool if this got added to it as well. Feature. Oh, so the J Concepts ONS points are on this as well. So yeah, you got a couple of things on this page.
So there was something interesting that happened on the live when you were looking it up. Is they had these sectors
Yep.
on Live RC on the live
Hmm.
on there.
Yep.
So this is really cool. I think that's great of them to keep pushing, keep doing
Yep.
stuff. I hope Live RC kind of picks this up and or they
Yeah.
work together or something cool happens with this and it doesn't fade off into oblivion.
Well, Live RC has given us, well, it started with RC Scoring Pro, but Live RC as well. They gave us the option for sectors many years ago, and not many people utilize it because you need decoders, which are extremely expensive. We covered that in the last episode.
Yeah,
Uh,
so I talked to Bobby a little bit about this, and I don't
Yep.
know if no, he did use decoders.
You have to.
Well, I thought so one of the guys brought up a good idea, but is not practically useful at this moment, which is to use an overhead camera and calculate that off of the calculate your zones, your
Yep.
sectors
Yep.
from the image online. And so I was there when this gentleman brought it up to Bobby, and he essentially said it's just not there yet. The technology isn't there, the resolution's not there, the software is just not there.
It's
And we
brand
need
new.
more right, we need more time with it. And so I understand that Bobby does a lot of work at a high level with software like this. I
Yes.
don't know what he wants discussed or not discussed, so I'm gonna leave that to him.
Yeah.
And so, but he's he seems very versed in this and seems knowledgeable about it because I know jack squat about this. And
Mhm.
I was kind of, listening to the conversation. It was just a group of us standing around, and I thought it was really interesting that this was even being implemented in RC, and I thought it was really cool. There's another couple cool tools being used. I don't know what exactly they are yet, but one of them is RC Paddock, and Max Mockler used that.
Okay.
Haven't had a chance to look at it. I saw it about an hour before this podcast, and I was like, "Oh, that looks interesting. What's that about?" And then I got sidetracked with family stuff, and here we are.
Yeah, dude, there's always just so much stuff. And
I
that's the
think
thing
if we
too.
can
It's
roll this out into a palpable package, I think AI was actually a great tool for the end user. You have all this data coming into
yeah,
a user interface, and then AI reads that data
yep,
and
yep.
says, Zach, you are fucking sector 1 up. You are 2 seconds slower than Ryan Mayfield in this sector. In sector 2, you're doing okay.
Or
You're half a second off. Sector 3, you're 3 seconds off. And then looking at the positional map, it shows you kind of where you need to go to make it better. Compared to your driving line. Or you can also, maybe you have, we start getting the F1 style stuff where you have this throttle and steering input data that can correlate with your map data. Be like, you're just full pin around this whole thing, dude. Of course you're not going fast.
yeah. Yeah,
But
my internet's starting to really
so
I don't know
well
why
then
it's so bad tonight.
it's getting late anyway, Joe, so let's call it.
Yeah, I gotta go have a beer with the dogs, and they don't go to bed. I can have a beer while easy. And then I'm gonna a photo of my. Can you hear me?
Oh my god. Yeah, I can hear
Sorry
you.
about that. Yeah, the audio's coming through great on the recording. The recording's gonna be fine, But I'm going to send Wortel a photo of this alleged Masami in this photo and a real picture of the 89 Masami and be like, who's this Italian fellow in this photo?
Hey, you know what? It's not a real picture if it's on the internet. I want to
That's
see.
true.
I want to see your box with the 89 Masami.
I got 91. I don't have 89.
Wow. Who
But
knows
I know-
if it's real or not, Joe?
I know exactly what Masami looks like. So
You know what? I'm gonna digress. I had a really funny joke that I'm not sure is appropriate.
all right. All right. Well, I'm Joser Jr. and with me is my co-host Zach Donathan. Earlier tonight we had I'm tired. Why am I not? I'm blanking on his
Sean
name.
Jones.
Sean Jones. Yes. Earlier tonight we had Sean Jones, and yeah, we've ran up my internet.
Joe. Joe has ran out of internet
Yes.
as well as talent.
Yes. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.